white. And the beauty about these baits is you can fish them on a Texas rig. You can flip them. Today I'm going to reel them on top. If need be, I'll drag them. But I got it on a weighted hook here, about 4/0 hook. I'll put the hook through. These things are really thick. It's got a big tail, good for thumping, putting out a lot of vibration. There we go, put it in there just like that. You got your big tail. They're already striking out on top, so I know they're under the grass. They're here somewhere, so this is a good search bait. If you just roll up to a spot and you want to find some fish, this is the bait to use. So you can throw it, reel it on top, just like that. You got that tail thumping. Or you can reel it just underneath the surface, right over a patch of grass. Or you can drag it. There's a variety of things you can do with this bait. It's a very, very versatile bait. It's got a nice coffee scent on it. Oh yeah, that's a good one. See that? Oh yeah. That is a pig right there, man. I'm glad I got braids so I can bring him through this grass. Come on up here, man. No! Oh my God, no. I'm so getting this fish. Oh, I lost him. Dang it. Worth a shot. I got wet for nothing. Well, at least we know they're hitting this bait. So what I did there was I threw it on top. I got the camera all wet and everything. So close but so far away. Threw it on top of a mat, ripped it off the mat, and he was right there to eat it. This is a phenomenal bait to find fish. You can do just about anything with it. Oh, man. If you could have seen the blow up that I just saw, man, there's something big lurking over there, and I need to figure out how to catch him. I'm just going to keep working it off that grass mat and see. Oh yeah. I watched him swim out and get that joker. Here we go. Oh, it's a pig right there, man. Right there, son. Rage shad. Rage shad right there. Beautiful. Beautiful fish. About a pound. About a pound. Solid. Solid fish. Since I skin hooked it, all I gotta do is bring the bait back up and boom. Put that tip back in the bait so it's weedless and go fishing. That's all you gotta do. I'm using 20-pound braid because I know there's a lot of grass here. I'll go over this setup at the end of the video. Let you guys know what's up. Throw back over here again. What you can do at ponds like this is you see there's grass mats everywhere. Bass are always relating to cover because the cover is what holds the bait fish. If you can throw something on top of the mat, just like this, throw it on top of the mat, slide it off, which is how we got our first fish. You slide it off the mat into open water, and those bass will be waiting under the mat, and they'll come out there and ambush it. How I caught the last fish was throwing it past the mat and working it parallel relative to the cover. And if you look at your bait or behind your bait, you can see wake. You can see bass dart out at it. I saw the wake, that fish chasing it, and I anticipated a hook set. He bit it, I hooked him, and I got him in here. You gotta know what you're fishing, how to fish it, and what to expect. I'm expecting there to be fish all around these patches of grass. You see the wind blowing all the food into this creek mouth right here. If you fish this creek mouth pretty good, pick apart this grass, this cover, then you'll definitely get some bites. So let's say the Raid Shad has too thumpy of a tail for you. You want something a little more calmer for those more finicky bass. I have just the recipe for that. A good recipe for the finicky bass is a more finesse topwater approach. The Zoom Horny Toad. If you look at its legs, it basically has the tail of a U-vibe as legs. These are a little more quieter, a little bit more subtle, a little bit more of a natural approach, and they're more likely to bite it. With topwater colors, I try not to complicate it too much. I go white or black. I'm using black right now because I just got done using white. Also, it just rained today. The water is a little stained. I know the bass can see black very well. Almost a little better than white in some places that I've read. So I'm going to work it across these mats, pop it off the edge, and try my best to reel it on top. It's a little more quiet. It drives the bass wild with those legs. They love the action of those legs. Oh man, that thing propelled out of the water for this frog. That is unreal. Got my braid to lift him out of the grass. Oh man. Oh my goodness. That is a big one. A little skinny for my taste. That's about 2 pounds right there, man. That's about as long as my forearm. That is a slab right there, man. Let me show you what I caught him on. A black Zoom Horny Toad, man. Black Zoom Horny Toad. He didn't eat that Raid Shad I threw earlier. He wanted that finesse approach. And evidently, that finesse approach works very well for the bigger bass that don't want to bite that loud stuff. Man, I love catching big fish. That thing propelled out of that water. And that's no joke right there. So like I said, you want to center up that hook on that frog. Make it look right. You want your frog to be straight. Make sure the legs are all right. Got both legs on there. Give her a cast out. Right before it hits the water, click it. Rod tip high, fast retrieve. Get her on a plane. And then you give her a nice steady reel in. Man, what an adrenaline rush. Let's get us some more big fish. When you're throwing this bait, before it even touches the water, right before it touches the water, you want to stop it. Just missed another one. You want to stop that bait and reel in the slack before it hits the water. Took my legs off. What a waste. When you're working with a topwater lure that you're going to be retrieving, you want that thing to get going as soon as it hits the water. And why I say that is it'll look like forage, bait fish, frog, prey leaving the cover that you're throwing at, because presumably you're going to throw this at cover. And when a bass sees a bait darting from that cover like that, it's going to trigger the bass's feeding instincts, which is to go after and pursue that bait. They can't resist it. They can't resist it. You also want your bait to be straight. You want your hook to be in the bait so you don't get any weeds. And look at that, straight across, straight plank. And it's centered within the body. So you centered the mass of the bait, your bait's straight. Right before it hits the water, click. Keep your rod tip high. Do a fast retrieve until you get your bait on a plane going across that water. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, that's a good one. That is a good one right there, folks. Oh, they are liking the black Zoom Horny Toad today. Oh my goodness. Look how big this guy is. This is 2 pounds easily. all day. Let me get this hook out of him. Oh man, oh man. They are crushing this black Zoom horny toad today, man. That is a chunk right there. That is a solid chunk. Beautiful fish. He's healthy, he's got a belly, he's got a tan to him, no scars or nothing. I'm in a great fishery here in this creek. Great fishing today. This is a blast. And you safely release them back in the water, they can live to bite another day. This is simply amazing. Simply amazing. When you're catching these nice, solid, healthy fish on topwater like this, you kind of want to take a breath and just slow down, because adrenaline and excitement can get the best of you. Always remember to slow down. You can always fish slow. You can never fish too slow. Sometimes the slower the better. But if you get adrenaline, you start reeling this thing too fast, they're not going to want it. So always just take a deep breath, focus, think about what you're doing. Am I reeling too fast? Am I holding my rod the wrong way? Just slow it down. Think. Always be aware. Always check yourself. Keep yourself in check. Am I aware right now? Am I aware of what I'm doing? Am I reeling this bait the right way? I think I am. I think I'm doing a great job so far. Here's another tip. Here's another tip. So if you're fishing across or fishing down a bank, you want to get it across over there as close up on the hill as you can. If anything, get it on land and work it off of land. That'll make it look as natural as possible. If your frog is rigged the right way, it has the hook inside the frog so you don't have to hook anything, it's weedless, then you can get it right up there in the grass and the weeds and slowly slither it out and dart it across the top of the water back into open water, and those bass will go for it every time, if they're there. Now, if you're parallel down a bank, generally my rule is to start out left of the bank or right, whichever way you're facing. Start the furthest out and work your way back in. You want to get a feel for where those fish are, if they're hanging loose to cover, if they're hanging close to cover, if they're up on the bank, if they're not up on the bank. Just try to get a feel for where the bass are and see what they're doing. Same rule applies. If your hook is in your frog, then you shouldn't have to worry about getting hung up. Let's go further into this creek. So when you're approaching a pond like this, it's good to have two general rules. You can power fish or you can finesse fish. But you can also use those for the same bait. There's two options for the same bait. So I'm throwing topwater. Do I want a finesse topwater? Do I want a powerful topwater? And you can do it either way. Evidently, it works if you throw the power topwater, which is the rage shad, with the louder approach. And then you can follow up with the finesse topwater, which is this Zoom horny toad that is a little bit more quiet approach, a little bit more natural, and offers a more quieter solution. And if you wanted to, you could start with the finesse approach and then work to the power approach. Either way, it'll work. That is how you do it. Zoom horny toad. Beautiful. Beautiful. Close to 2 pounds. So why did I know to do that? Well, there's a drain pipe right there, and you can look down there and see that there's bait fish swimming all around that thing. And I know bass generally like to go inside drain pipes, hang out there and wait for an easy snack. So I had the benefit of sneaking up on the spot, quietly dropping my bait in front of the drain pipe, and he just so happened to be eating it. I gave it 2 twitches and he hauled off with it. Just one of those things with bass. You just, once you catch so many and you fish for so long, you remember little tidbits on how they eat and how they operate. Oh boy, right there at my feet. Oh my goodness, another good one. Oh yeah, that's what I like right there. Black Zoom horny toad, son. Pound, chunk. Yeah, that's what I like. Release him safely. Catch and release. Man, I love bass fishing. You probably won't know someone else that loves bass fishing as much as I do. Just by the power of observation, I know that there's a bunch of hydrilla and stuff washed up in these corners, and bait fish and fry hang out in these corners seeking shelter from the bass, stuff like that. They go in there and eat food, but the bass hang out in this milfoil and wait around for these little bait fish to come out there and they eat them. So you can just throw this frog, it's weedless, you can throw it around this milfoil and just work the magic. Frog will do the rest, you just reel it in. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, the feeding frenzy is almost over. I'm going to fish this creek mouth again because I had a big one boil up at my topwater frogs. So let's see if we can't come back here and entice a few more bites before I wrap up the video. One thing I also know about this creek mouth is that all throughout... Oh, I threw it right on top of a fish. Let's see if he comes back and eats it. I threw it right on top of one, man. He didn't do anything about it either. I know that there are grass beds spread all throughout the center of this channel. It's not just the sides, but if you can come here with polarized glasses, come here on a sunny day, come here when it's very low, you can get a good feel for the body of water that you're fishing just by observing. The power of observation. If you know that there's patches of grass all around here, you're going to know that bass are going to be roaming around the grass, looking for bait, looking for forage, hiding out, cooling off, all that good stuff. It's prime bass habitat. Always pick a spot apart. Don't make 2 or 3 casts and leave. Make like 20 casts at the least. Just because you throw it in a good spot and a bass doesn't eat it, it doesn't mean he's not there. He might be there. Maybe he's just not looking that way. The whole time you're throwing and reeling, that fish is swimming around, looking around, stuff like that. And if you keep picking apart these little pieces of cover, then eventually, odds are, you're going to get that bass's attention, which also increases your chances of getting bit. Oh boy, had one blow up on it right in that mat. Let me work it slow over these mats. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh my God. Look at this bad boy. Look at this guy. He came out here to eat. That's what he did. This boy came out to eat. Look at that. Look where that frog is. Right in his mouth. Man. 2.5. Too solid. Too solid right there. Big old boy. Go you, man. Let's release you back. Good job. Heck yeah. Hey, how's it going? I'm Austin, Fishing with Austin. Welcome to my video. So, my entire face can't fit in this video, but you didn't come to this video to look at my handsome face. You came to this video to see what I caught my fish on and how I did it. Why I chose the baits that I chose and why I did what I did, right? Like I said in the video earlier, I like to keep my colors simple, right? You got your pearl white rage shad, and then you have your pitch black horny toads. Horny, get it? Yeah. So, we're gonna open these bad boys up and further examine them, right? We have our zoom, we have our rage tail. In my opinion, the rage tail smells so much better. It smells like coffee. It smells delicious. You got the horny toad, smells just like regular silicone. So, here you go. There's your comparison right there. You got this thick, thumpy tail that it did get some bites. It did get some strikes, right? It's very thick, very tough. This is a tough bait. I hooked a gar on this twice in the video. You probably won't see it in the finished product, which is okay. But this is a thick bait. You can catch plenty of fish on this. You can probably use this on maybe multiple fishing trips. This thing is thick and sturdy, which is all right. But the problem with thick and sturdy baits is you don't always get that action. You don't get that loosey-goosey actions because it's so thick and blocky like that. Here's what I like about the horny toad, right? It's very small, and it has a hole type body, sort of like a bass boat, right? So whenever you throw it out there, it gets right up there on a plane. You got the two legs right here. They don't cause that much of a commotion in the water, but they cause it just enough to trigger those instincts of that bass to strike. They're quiet, but they get the attention and bring the noise all at the same time. They deliver the action. The body of the frog, it's not too big, it's not too little. It matches the forage almost perfectly. These baits are great. They were great baits. I had a great day on the water today. I got to go over what I use, my equipment. So I have a Lew's speed spool, 6 to 8 to 1 ratio. This is a great reliable reel. It's great for cranking those fish out of that cover, out of the grass. I have 20-pound Power Pro braid on there. This braid has been outstanding. I've had this braid on there for I don't know how long. I probably need to change it out pretty soon. But that's the beauty about Power Pro. It's very, very reliable, very strong, and it will always bring in those big, heavy fish. The pole I'm using is a Bass Pro Shops Tourney Special, 7-foot, medium heavy with a fast action tip. This is a great rod because it's tall. It gives you plenty of leverage when you hook those fish. And it has a great tip for feeling sensitive strikes, and it has just enough backbone for you to set that hook on those long casts. It also, in my opinion, has a great handle. You can see how that handle is sort of bigger, right? It fits right into your hand just perfectly. So you're not squeezing something very small like this, and then you get cramps in your hand, right? You got something nice and big, something good to hold on to. Let me show you my setup here. I got this on a weighted hook so I could throw further. I got my hook centered up in the back of my frog, and I have my frog straight and parallel with the floor. Something fell in my freezer. Here's some of the cons about using a weighted hook. So whenever I would throw it on the grass mats, the grass would get tangled up on this weight right here. And whenever you get some grass tangled up, it influences how the frog swims. I noticed it disrupted a lot of the action and the movement of the frog whenever I'd reel it across the water because you have grass displacing the water on the frog, not allowing the legs to kick like they should be, or the grass would catch on this and reach all the way back to the legs and disrupt the legs, so you're just dragging a big wad of crap across the surface. Now when a bass is following that, he's not going to go for that unless he's super duper active. I mean, there's always that 1 in a million chance. But next time I would prefer a regular hook, a regular screw-in hook like this, but without the weight. That's my only, my only ploy with this. The only thing I would change for next time. So that's pretty much my setup. That's pretty much what I did for the fish. Yeah, that's my setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that crap. Tell your friends about it. Spread the word. You heard. Just to give you another rundown, I used Strike King Rage Tail, and it was a Rage Shad, by the way. And I used a Zoom Black Horny Toad. Keep the color simple. Good luck.